Setting up the simple event system is super easy. Open up your level's game state blueprint and simply add the BPC simple event system component. That's it, the plugin is ready to go. We have a trigger box and a cube, but entering the trigger does nothing. Let's use the simple event system to set up an event that changes the cube's color on overlap. Let's make sure that the overlap is activated by the player, and use a do-once node to prevent multiple triggers. Now it's time to send our first event. For it, you need a single node called sendEvent from the simple event system group. Next, we need to name our event using the gameplay tag system. This system helps you manage and group events easily, keeping everything organized when your project gets more complex. To create a new tag, click the plus icon and enter a name. I'll call it triggeroverlap.start. Then just select the default source file for saving. This creates a tag hierarchy with a trigger overlap as a parent group and start as a subtag. So the event is sent. Now let's head over to the cube to set up the logic to receive it. The cube has a function to change its color every second. Let's set up the receiver to trigger it when the event arrives. To do this, call the getSimpleEventSystem node. Pull out bind event to event system dispatcher and link your function. Then just use a switch on gameplay tag for the event tag pin to make it react to a specific event. In the detail panel of switch node, we can select tag that we want to subscribe to. Let's select our trigger overlap start event. Now we can plug in changing color function that we wanted to call on overlap event. With the basics covered, let's try something more advanced. Third actor appeared in the scene, and it's a pet that moves up and down. Let's say I wanted to react not only on the cube's color changing function, but to a specific color that I decide. We can do this using the Payload feature, which lets you send custom data with your event. To send payload with the cube's color material, I need to create a structure with variables of specific types that I want to transfer. Structs can carry as many variables as you need, and they are more optimized than standard UObject payloads. In my case, I need material interface object reference type of the variable. Let's save our payload struct and call it from the blueprint. As you can see, we can't just plug our struct to the payload's input of our event. For it, we use makeInstanceStruct node. Let's create new event name. I'll call it cube.color. Now we need to set up an event receiver just like before. But this time, instead of using a custom event, let's move all the logic into a function to keep things more organized. To get our payload, we need getInstanceStructValue node. And break it as our payload struct. Eventually, when we got our cube color, we can add logic. Let's set it as when color is yellow, pet uses its function to go up. And when color is blue, it goes down. To reinforce what we learned, let's add a fourth actor and make the logic slightly more complex. Now I want the pet and the cube actors react when the player reaches the green box sector. It has the same logic as an initial trigger, so we just create a new event. That will be a subtag of trigger overlap tag group. To add an additional event to a pet's receiver function, just go to Switch Node, Details panel, and add a new tag. On this event, I will add a logic so pet immediately goes up and stops. Finally, for the cube receiver, let's subscribe to the entire trigger overlap category rather than individual events. For it, we need a node called matches tag. With exact match box unchecked, it will return true on every subtag inside the selected group. I wanted to change color in the first call and destroy itself on the second. And that's how we created gameplay sequence for the player, using only simple event system. Simple event system also supports a replication for multiplayer. For it, you can use send event replicated node. As it's designed for global game events, sending allowed only from server side, preventing clients from cheating. But what it's really useful for is HUD. Event system allows you to subscribe to events from the UI, and with send event replicated node, you can receive events on a client's widgets. Native blueprints have perfect compatibility. Unlike with C++ plugins, you will never have to wait for updates or fix errors when moving to a new version of Unreal Engine. With simple event system, you don't need cast nodes, which saves memory and makes your assets more modular. Opposite to heavy U objects, instance structs are destroyed automatically without garbage collection, and gameplay tags workflow keep your project events organized. You can send and bind events from anywhere. It works very good inside actors, components, and your UI widgets. And finally, you can broadcast to clients for the visual effects or the UI logic.